Good morning. It is March the 25th. It is Wednesday, and this is our 8th day of digital learning. So, a couple of things before we start. I don't know if you noticed or not, but yesterday I uploaded Chapter 7, Read-Aloud, from Messenger. So you could have listened to it yesterday. You can listen to it today, tomorrow, Friday, whatever. But the quiz for Chapter 7 is going to be read to you on Friday. So there will be a video that includes that read aloud, but the quiz is already in your journal if you wanted to review it before Friday. We're going to start out by doing the same thing we did yesterday. Each video from here until the end of this digital learning experience, we're going to start out the lesson by reviewing what we did the day before. So today, if you have your binder in front of you, I want you to flip to the chart from yesterday. So this is a review. Yesterday we had a problem in our daily math warm-up, and it talked about Miss Smith going to the store. She needs to buy spoons, forks, and plates. How much will it cost? So we know that because we're just finding the total for these items, that all we have to do is add. Okay, so you can see that I put the price of the spoons, the forks, and the plates, and all you have to do is add them up. So you could do that using pencil and paper, you could do that using a calculator, but you will find that the total for those three items are $12.47. So if you did not get that yesterday, let's try working through it again so that you can see where the mistake was and we can fix it and just continue to practice adding with decimals. Okay, the next section for your journal yesterday, you can go to the discussion board and share your thoughts with your classmates. So we kind of broke down that question yesterday. For March the 24th, the question asked, would you rather work inside or would you rather work at a job that is mostly outside? And just tell us why. Okay, so if you want to go to the discussion board in Google Classrooms and talk about that, go for it. And then finally, we also did kitchen basics from yesterday. It was regarding safety, basic safety in the kitchen. So the first question, name two things that you can do to prevent chaos in the kitchen. So two things that you can do to prevent chaos in the kitchen is slow down and close drawers and doors and clean up as you go along. Those are three examples of what you could have put there. For the second question, why should you tie your hair back when you cook? It's because it can catch fire, it can get caught up in appliances, it can get in food, which is disgusting. But those are a couple of reasons why you need to keep your hair back when cooking. And then a better choice than a wobbly chair for reaching high objects in the kitchen. Well, you don't want to climb on a wobbly chair for any reason, but especially when you're lifting down heavy equipment from a shelf in your kitchen, because you can fall, the equipment can fall on you. But you need to use a step stool or a step ladder and try not to put heavy things on a high shelf. And then the final question for yesterday that we're going to review, and all of this will be scanned so that you can see it. What are three safety precautions you can take to protect yourself from burns? You need to turn pot handles in on the stove. You never want the handle of a pot hanging over the edge because somebody can bump into it and knock it on the ground. You want to put hot pans safely away and make sure, just like pulling your hair back, you want to make sure your sleeves or if you're wearing a tie or something that can hang down, that it's far away from a heat source. Okay. So that is a pretty quick review, and I'm able to go through it quickly because if you look under the tab that says Answer Keys by Date, you can find scanned copies of those activities, okay? So you can check your answers with my work. all of that being said, let's jump into our money math warm-up for the day. So today is the 25th of March. So it's going to look like this. You see that? Okay. Here is the question. Heidi spent a total of $100 at the mall. She bought a shirt for $23.59, a pair of shoes for $39.99, and she spent the rest of her money on jewelry. How much of the money did she spend on jewelry? So, this question is a little involved because on Monday we were making change. On Tuesday we were just adding 3 items to find a total. Today we know that she spent $23.59 on a shirt. We know she spent $39.99 on shoes, and she only brought $100 to the mall. So how much did she spend on jewelry? You have to, whoops, I worked it out just to set it up for you. You'll kind of want to set it up like this. The first thing we want to do is find out how much she spent all together on the shirt and the shoes. So you will add $23.59 and $39.99 together. Okay, so the first thing you do is add the price of the shirt and the shoes. If you need to pause this screen here so you can see how I set this up, you can do that. But first things first, add the shirt and the shoes, and that will give you a total for those 2 items. Now we know she brought $100 to the mall with her. Okay, so if she brought $100, but she spent this amount of money on the shirt and the shoes, you want to subtract this number that you get here from 100. Okay, so 100 minus the total of the shirt and shoes. Whatever money is left over, that is what Heidi spent on jewelry. Okay, she didn't want to save anything. She spent it all, every dime. So the shirt, the shoes, and the jewelry will all equal 100. So if you want to pause it here, you can work that out, and then we will work on the journal together. So this is kind of how you want to set up your math. Cool? All right. So we're going to flip to our career journals, the next tab. So journals 1 and 2 were on the first page. We're going to flip to the second page because we're looking at Wednesday, March the 25th. And here is your question. If you were given the opportunity to shadow one type of career, so that means like go to a job with someone and see what they do all day, that's shadowing. Okay, so you want to go and shadow a type of career. This is not something that you necessarily want to do, but you're kind of interested in. What would it be? Why would you choose to shadow that career? And identify 5 points that make this career so intriguing. Okay, so I broke that down a little bit to be a little bit more simple. Basically, what is a job that you find interesting? So even if you want to like be a teacher, you think it's interesting to be a detective, tell me why. Or what job it is that you find interesting and what makes it so interesting. Okay, so that's all I need you to answer for today. What is a job you find interesting and what makes it so interesting? This will be posted on the discussion board, so you're welcome to go there. I'll pause it here if you want to pause your screen so that you can see how I broke it down, go for it. But this will be posted on the discussion board so that you can talk about it with your classmates and you and I can discuss it also. I do want to remind you that as we're going through these things, you're welcome to comment on the YouTube site so that we can discuss these things together. I think somebody's coming to leave for work. Hello. There's Dustin the dog. Thank you. This is my coffee delivery. All right, love you. The next part that we're going to do, yesterday we did kitchen basics, so today we're going back to our job interview skills. Okay, so today is called Charting Business Manners. And it starts out with this heading here, that manners matter. Okay, so it's a few pages that we're going to read through together and then a small chart that you will fill out on your own. Lily, come here. All right, so manners matter. Communication isn't just about the words that come out of your mouth. Many other things contribute to what you say. They are manners, body language, tone of voice, clothing, and attitude. Messing up on any one of those things can make your message unclear. When you're two and you show everyone your underwear, people smile and say, "Well, isn't that cute?" Do the same thing at work and you're going to get fired. Sarcasm may be funny when you're joking around with your friends, but your customer may have different ideas. An inappropriate joke at an interview can cost you a job. By knowing the rules of grown-up communication, you can avoid sticky situations. By knowing how to communicate in a mature adult way, you put yourself at the front line to get a job or start a career. So let's check out the manners that employees want. All right, what are manners? This is the next page. Emily Post is one of the most famous authorities on manners and etiquette. She says that etiquette is society's rules on how to behave in a civilized way. Manners, she says, are an outward expression or demonstration of a person's character. In other words, etiquette is society's rule on how to act. Manners are a way of letting our inner goodness show to the world. Why do we need manners? Which brings us to the next question. Why do we need manners? The short answer is to let our inner goodness show, but the truth is that manners make the world nicer. They avoid hurt feelings, and they prevent confusing situations. Who enters a door first? How much do you tip a waiter? How do you properly answer the phone? There are clear answers to each of these questions, and you can learn more about these manners in everyday manners. But for our purposes, here are some business manners that you should know. Okay, so this is what we're looking at next. It's a list of business manners. These are rules that you should kind of follow when you're on the job site. As an employee, your managers tell your boss, coworkers, and others how you feel about them and your job. Here are some manners that every good employee should have. 1. I get to work on time. 2. If I'm going to be late, I call and let my boss know. 3. I rarely miss work, and I call if I'm going to miss or I am sick. So that happens. We have sick days and things like that. The important thing is to be respectful of other people's time, and if you are going to be late or you do need to miss, you need to let people know as soon as you are aware of that. 4. I pay attention. 5. I look people in the eye and speak clearly. 6. I work as hard as I can. 7. I do my work as I'm told. If I don't understand, I ask questions. 8. I follow safety rules. 9. I am friendly. 10. I try to solve problems as they come up. 11. I use G-rated language at all times. 12. I use materials properly. 13. I behave professionally. 14. I listen carefully and do not interrupt. 15. I keep my personal life at home. And 16. I understand that time is money and I do not steal when I'm on the clock. That basically means that when you're at work, you are actually working. Because if you're just hanging out with your friends and getting paid for it, that's like stealing. Okay, So here's where we take these rules and we put them into a chart so that we can show that we understand what these rules are saying. So, what are these good employee manners saying? Use the chart below to explain what 3 of the manners on the last page mean. An example was done for you. So you can see on this chart they highlight rule number 7, and they're saying that what rule number 7 means is working hard says I respect my boss, the company, and the work we're doing. Asking questions mean I care about how good of a job I do and am willing to reach out to do a good job. So, the dog is trying to come back through the gate. All you'll do here is write the number of the rule that you want to talk about. Okay? And then over here, you will explain what it means to you. Okay? So that is going to be it for today. You know that you can rewind, you can pause, you can do any of that stuff as we're going through the activities, because I know that explaining all of this and reviewing yesterday's activities in under 20 minutes can be a little quick. So remember, you can always go back and review, you can pause, but always remember this, that tomorrow I will upload these answers for you. Or if they're not the exact answers, they'll be examples of what you could have done for your activity. So just do your best. Hang in there. We're halfway through the week. I love you all. I will talk to you soon, and enjoy the messenger.